Let's talk some Georgia recruiting because there are going to be 5 stars in Atlanta. I know it's not a home game for the Dogs. They're just traveling a little bit down to Atlanta to play Clemson. And there's a pair of 5 stars that we want to talk about. Elijah Griffin and Justice Terry, both going to be in the stands watching this one. Significant for the Bulldogs?
Absolutely. It's an opportunity for them to play in front of maybe the top 2 players still on the board for Georgia right now, the number 1 and number 2 defensive linemen in the country, Elijah Griffin and Justice Terry. Georgia's trending on the on-3 RPM for both. Elijah Griffin's going to take his official visit this fall. I wouldn't be surprised if he's committed to the Bulldogs before the end of the season. Justice Terry's the interesting one, right? I like where Georgia stands. My on-3 RPMs on the Bulldogs. He has proven that he could commit elsewhere. He has been committed to USC. He is going to be at the Georgia-Alabama game in Tuscaloosa at the end of the month. He had a great official visit to Alabama in the summer. He maintains communication with Freddie Roach. But I know with Georgia and I know with Justice Terry, he feels at home in that locker room. Trey Scott gets Justice Terry's game film from this first game of the season, has it cut up, ready to coach him right now at Manchester High. They're going over that film together. So Trey Scott going the extra mile like he always does with top recruits with Justice Terry. Justice Terry thinks he could be his best version of himself playing for Coach Scott, loves being around the Georgia football program. But Alabama's obviously in the mix here as well.
Yeah, Bama's still buzzing when it comes to Justice Terry. The Bulldogs, they are sitting at number 4, but obviously they want to finish with the number 1 ranked class in America. And to do that, they're going to need to land a couple more recruits. I mean, obviously Elijah Griffin and Justice Terry will get them closer, but on 300 running back Usman Kroma is going to attend the Georgia game as well this weekend. I've thought that this is more of an Auburn-FSU battle, but is Georgia kind of making a run at Kroma right now?
Well, he could attend the Georgia game, Josh, as things develop and intel continues to come in. He could be at the Auburn game on Saturday.
Could be a pivotal
we'll
visit.
We'll see where he shows up. I think he'll make some rounds this fall. I'm starting to get an Auburn vibe again for Kroma. You know, there's been times where I've liked Florida State. I know I've said, hey, if Georgia's pushing, I think they can get it done. So that's certainly in the back of my mind. But I think Auburn is the program that's got some momentum for Kroma right now. Will he be at the Georgia game on Saturday? Will he be at the Auburn game on Saturday? I'm interested to see where he pops up.
All right. In your article that you wrote on 3 that guys can go read for just $1 using promo code FONG1, you said there's a chance that we'll see several committed prospects to other schools attending this Georgia-Clemson game. Give the people a hint at who you're hinting at.
Well, Chad Simmons just posted one. Top 100 offensive lineman, Damola Ajadon, currently committed to Georgia Tech. Coming out of his official visit to Georgia in the summer, I thought he was a heavy Bulldog lean, but Brent Key and company were able to get that done for Georgia Tech. But Georgia's fighting back. We said they would. Here they are, game 1, looking to lay it down in front of Damola. Hey, come play offensive line for the Bulldogs. A couple of other names that I'm certainly keeping a keen eye on. Kevin Wynn, defensive tackle, committed to Florida State. He's another that after his official visit to Georgia, and you get this a lot, they don't land everybody, but official visits to Georgia tend to be big needle movers. And I was thinking there might be a good chance Kevin Wynn ends up at Georgia. Maybe that's still the case. Georgia wants another linebacker. They're recruiting several committed elsewhere. One of them's Tavian Wallace, who made a surprising commit to Arkansas over Florida State and Georgia back in the summer. We'll see if he pops up inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Whether he does or doesn't, Georgia's going to stay on Tavian Wallace and other top high-profile linebackers. And go back and watch Monday's show, Josh. We talked about who's going to finish number 1 in the standings. Georgia's going to have some big flips in them like they did KJ Bolden at the end of last cycle. Who's it going to be this cycle? Those are some of the names to keep an eye on.
All right, and we also expect some 2026 and 2027 prospects to be there. The number 1 sophomore in America, LaDamian Guyton, he's going to be on hand. That's big for the Dogs. Any other names stand out to you that you're expecting from the 26 and 27 classes?
Yeah, Josh, you got on 300 edge rusher Chase Linton. He's in the 25 class. He's another that Georgia's trending for as they push for the number 1 class. And they have 2 of the top linebackers in America in 2026 expected to be there, Tyler Atkinson and Xavier Griffin. Xavier Griffin's currently committed to USC. We've seen that story, that movie. USC, they're recruiting the right kids. They're going into the Peach State. They're getting early verbals. Bulldogs going to make it hard for them to keep them.
Hey, it's always going to be hard for USC to keep these guys from the state of Georgia or from the South, but Dog fans, talk to us. Let us know. How are we feeling about this season opener and the recruits that are going to be there? Talk to us. Let us know. Comment section below. Well, you've made it to the end of today's video, but there's hundreds more videos on the On3 Recruits channel for you to check out. And also, while you're here, hit subscribe.